Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. It is Friday. Very exciting day of the year as we wrap things up here for 2021. Unfortunately, Virginia is not with us today. She is not feeling well.
Do my peepers deceive me? Do I see a beer next to Kevin, the Kevin Rolston?
They do not deceive you. Yes, you actually helped me to this decision. You spilled my other drink all over the fridge, so I said, you know what? It gives me a good reason to go beer instead.
I spilled the fuck out of your drink.
Yeah, it's a big old tumbler. It's a big old KVJ tumbler, and all I saw was you going into the fridge, and I heard crash, crash, gluck, 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 gluck. And I'm like,
and then, Kevin, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
It's Kevin.
That's
It's
kind of how it all went down.
I always feel so bad when I spill someone's shit, and I do it a lot, and
Yeah.
I always feel bad.
That's all right. You shouldn't feel bad. It's all good. It actually opened up the door for me to say, I'm thirsty. I need something to drink. I'm out of beverage. But thank God there's beer.
Cheers, big
Yeah.
ears. I love it.
Here we go to you. This is Vesa Sur. Hecha en Miami is the name of it.
Yeah,
That's what they do. Yeah, made in Miami. And it is a great brewery if you've never been there. In fact, if you go to Miami, they've got a really cool little setup where you can do some great brewery hopping. If you go around the Wynwood area, they've got Wynwood Brewing and Vesa Sur, Concrete Beach, whole bunch of great breweries right in there, very close to one another. Wynwood is a fantastic area to go and just do some bar hopping and check out the restaurants. And Vesa Sur is in there, and I was so impressed when I first went in there. I'm like, they put a lot of money into this. It's a very nice brewery. It's not like, and you know, some breweries are great, but you love the fact that you're in a warehouse district
Yeah.
and all that. This is not Vesa Sur. And I went and looked at it, I'm like, going, who is funding this? Sure enough, it's Anheuser-Busch.
Ah,
It is big ass beer money, and it looks like big ass beer money. And you'll see Vesa Sur all over the place now. You know, it's got the South Florida feel, but it's something that's going everywhere. So they make fantastic beer.
Well, my kidney brother, Bigfoot, Jim Romano, he works with this company now.
Yes,
So I'm getting, he's constantly giving me this free beer
they're so good.
for my parties. I'm going, dude, I'm loving this.
Yeah, and they're all about on the can. It says support local cerveza, and hey, look, I'm all good about that. They're anything but local technically, but hey, why not?
Yeah.
We'll go with that. What the hell?
Cheers.
Cheers. Here we go. Delicious. It's a very good India Pale Ale here. All right, so we got the beer going. Got to see what else we have going on here. Stoney the Elf. I'm not sure if he's a beer drinker.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Every now and then, because I get to talk to him a little bit during commercial break. He said he likes to do a little bit of whiskey and eggnog to celebrate the finality of Christmas.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, we had Stoney the Elf in here today. And Celeste in Portland sent us an email here. Said, Stoney the Elf is one of my favorite things about Christmas. I heard this bit from last year. Then I heard the What Does the Elf Say song. And I thought Stoney and the Elf in the song sounded very similar. Is Stoney the Elf the voice in What Does the Elf Say?
No, that would be Jason Pennington. I'm not trying to break the fourth wall here.
Yeah.
Oh, kids aren't listening to this shit. No, that would be me.
Let's hope they're not listening.
You're right. Oh, they are. That's kind of apparent.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
Fuck you.
Yeah. I got an email here about Stoney from Mark, and he said, hey, Jaber, what about a Stoney the Elf movie? I can hear Mrs. Claus with a Cajun accent with her sexy Santa Panda Claus. The abominable snowman, Bigfoot, could be a misunderstood character in the story Stoney is trying to unravel. He is the main suspect. The elves are dropping left and right with murder. Private Dick Jaybird is called to the North Pole to help Stoney solve the murders and vindicate Bigfoot, just like Holmes and Watson.
Honestly, I think you should do that fucking script. That's your vision.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
What a great
sign on a
vision
Stony.
it is.
We the next KVJ horror movie is already pretty much done.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna film it earlier this year, even earlier.
Yeah. Okay, that's great.
And you're gonna have a bigger acting role in this one.
Good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love acting in those things.
In fact, you're gonna kind of be the main piece. It would require you doing a lot of acting, but I think we could get it done in a weekend. Honestly, we really could.
Hey, if we're working ahead, we'll be able to find some time.
Yeah, and I think if somebody can get me a campsite where we could, just film for whatever.
Okay.
Without any bullshit, that would be really cool too.
So it's involving a campground kind of thing? Is that what it is?
And I want you need a ton of KVJ Nationers for this one.
Okay. All right, so we'll put you in it.
Yeah.
Not too early to think about Halloween.
Well, I do love the idea of maybe doing another KVJ movie, but it doesn't always have to be Halloween. To the person's point that wrote that email, a Christmas KVJ movie.
Yeah.
These are things we could do if we planned them out right.
That's true, yeah. That'd be fun. It's fun to make. All right, let me see here. We've got an email from Maddie. Maddie's so cute and adorable. Her and her fiance got to hang out with them at an FAU game not too long ago. She was the one that kept running into my daughter and was like, oh, wait, are you Caitlin? And yeah, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So her and her fiance, both very adorable people. Her fiance is awesome. And she said, you guys were talking about Christmas stockings and dropping the orange in it, something that they were doing
in the
right
20s?
after the, right, with the Great Depression. Apparently orange is like, oh my gosh, you got me an orange. Oh. She said, so when I came home from work today, Eddie, my fiance, told me that he had heard somebody going through the house and thought Santa may have dropped an early Christmas present in my stocking. Excited, I ran over to find an orange stuffed in the bottom of my stocking. I mean, I say, what the hell is this, the Great Depression? So my fiance, Eddie, just looked super confused, and he stared at me saying, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, come on. You obviously overheard the KVJ show this morning talking about it. Ha ha, very funny. To which my fiance said, no, I'm taking you to the Orange Bowl. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, and then he goes, fuck the KVJ show.
Yeah.
I listen to Satellite.
He said, I could definitely say that Orange Bowl tickets are way better than just oranges. Who knows? Maybe all those kids who got an orange during the Great Depression were actually just going to the college football playoffs and not just getting a piece of fruit. Hope you all have the best vacation and Merry Christmas. Thank you for being the constant voices in my head. Always good hearing from you, Maddie.
I gotta tell you, your boyfriend's a keeper, or your husband. That's an adorable fucking Christmas present. You're going to the Orange Bowl and you put an orange in your stocking.
Oh, I tell you, it's actually a really great present to let you know, because we looked into tickets just to find out, and we looked even the upper level. One ticket, $600.
What? That's some bullshit.
I mean, that's
$600. That's the worst tickets at Hard Rock Stadium. If you want to sit lower, I can't even imagine.
But think about it, though. Think about the entire year that you've spent stuff. You know you've probably spent $600 worth of bullshit. If you took the overall of everything you spent on.
Yeah.
So if you kind of budgeted your money and did that. Mm-hmm. It's really not that bad. It's not so expensive.
It's not, and it's one of those things where she went to Georgia, and Georgia's not won a national championship in forever, and they're a really solid team this year. So yeah, you got to do it. You got to make those kind of memories when that stuff comes up. Yeah, you're just like, oh my gosh, the cost. But I will tell you, honestly, you can make up for that. You got to make those kind of investments, because football games I've gone to, the best memories I have in my entire life. And some of them, were not cheap. But I'm like, screw it. I will suffer the entire year just go to this one damn game.
Well, I think Denny's will attest, too. Some of his best memories are at a football game, right?
Leaving the football game were some of my greatest feelings.
Thank God I'm out of here.
Man, I used to have to go to so many football and baseball games.
Oh,
just
did you?
One of my exes was a humongous fan. Jets, Rangers.
Oh man!
Can you picture?
But they
Denny's
always lose.
I cannot picture you, because I didn't know Denny's really at all during this time period. You going to a baseball game or a football game sounds so odd to me.
I just drank. That's why I think they have alcohol there. It's just to make the experience more enjoyable.
Yeah, it does. It does make it more enjoyable. And then you just got to figure out what side you're on. Because I've gone to games that I wanted to see and I drank too much. And then I remember nothing from that game. How much did I spend on a ticket? That was so dumb. Yeah.
You're right. You want to drink so much to where you don't remember the experience.
Yeah, and so I would go to some of these games and, they start tailgating early and they're doing shots and all this. And Man, you want to talk about the peer pressure to drink. I'm like, guys, I want to remember the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're younger. We're doing shots, motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you're there for the party too.
Yeah, so it's you gotta if you're experienced, you gotta kind of watch yourself, and you gotta know what to drink. You don't be doing the shots, all that kind of stuff. It's just it's dumb.
Would you say you are very seasoned as a drinker to where you know exactly what you should and should not do every time there's drinks around?
Well,
Or
you
will
know,
it still sneak up on you?
yeah, you know the problem that happened for me is I haven't the last part of the year I didn't drink well, and. You know, I'll tell you the weird thing about it. What happened, I've been a seasoned drinker, drank very hard my entire life. My body has changed so much. That's what's crazy. I'm like, what happened to my tolerance? I used to be able to have all this stuff. I never, I would drink all day long. I'd be out at night. People are like, how are you still going? And I'm like, this is what I do.
You and Virginia, you
Yeah.
both. I mean, she's got even a better tolerance than you
Yeah,
do.
she kept going. I started when I had kids, I kind of hit the brakes a little bit from where I was. I mean, I still, don't get me wrong, my wife would be like, no, you drank a lot. And I have, but I'm not to Virginia's level. So she stayed in the major leagues where I once was in my 20s, and then I went back to AAA, and I've kind of dropped it down to I'm in T-ball now.
And I guess I'm only saying Virginia's at a different level. It's not good when it gets to a certain level. She's just still standing on the 12th round. You're not.
yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
She's got the legs for the distance. I'm not saying the performance is always, but she's got the legs for the go the distance.
Well, I remember the realization. You have those kind of moments. It was back in our 20s when Virginia and I were crazy and we were hanging out. We do the show. We'd hang out every weekend. And I am at her apartment. It's maybe 6 in the morning. 5 or 6 in the morning. The sun is coming up. We're just sitting there. There's people that are just laying all over the place. And I'm just like, what the hell what am I doing? I had not had really any fun for a good 5 or 6 hours. And I'm like, I could have easily gone to bed at midnight and I wouldn't have missed a thing except for this.
You told that story probably 12 years ago on our old station.
Yeah.
And it stuck out to me so much because I have been in those situations where the sun is coming up and I've been miserable for a good 3 or 4 hours. And then I go, what the fuck am I doing?
Right. What is the point of this?
Get the fuck out of here.
And she's always been that way. Like, she never stops. She still will be up at whatever time of the morning. And I guess she's still having a good time with it, but I'm like,
well, I think it all depends.
Yeah.
I'm not at all judging if you want to stay up and party till 6 a.m. in the morning. But I know for me,
to each their own.
At 2 a.m., I'm not having fun. Everyone's annoying me. I'm drunk. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
What the fuck why am I here?
And Virginia just still, she just loves doing it that much.
Got the legs for it.
She's got the legs for it, and I think she still enjoys it to the last minute. And it's always worthwhile to her. And the way that I feel and everything else, I'm like, this ain't worth it.
Well, God bless her.
Yeah.
If you can do anything in life, barring murder, Denny,
no, that's
for
how
sure.
where you can enjoy it to the last minute, to the last second.
That's why I always tell people. My daughter's got that one friend, Cheyenne, that she's the party hound in their crew. She's like, I can drink Virginia under the table. I'm like, you cannot.
No, I've seen Cheyenne. She doesn't have the legs for it.
No, Cheyenne jumps out really fast, drinks the hardest stuff she can as fast as she can, and then she's a mess in an hour.
Cheyenne's she's a first or second round knockout.
Yeah.
Very impressive to someone who's not so seasoned. If she gets to anybody who she's knocked out by the 6th round, it's too much.
Yeah.
She's a young buck.
Yeah.
As I like to call her.
She's always saying that. And then on top she's like, and I could kick your wife's ass. I'm like, you cannot. I'm like, you don't.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, you dude, you've got.
You're not really old until, in my opinion, people can still do damage to people until you get into your 80s. In my opinion.
Okay, yeah, you could.
I feel like
there's some old coots that can still throw down. And
Definitely.
Totally.
Because here's the thing, kind of with drinking and with fighting, is you have to learn to adapt because your body does change. So you have to learn to drink different and fight different.
Yes.
But by the time you're an old coot, because I remember the Conley brothers, his dad, Shorty, could still destroy. You would see him, and it was like, remember how Yoda in that one Star Wars had the cane all of a sudden, whoosh, It was that way with Shorty. Like, this guy couldn't kick my grandma's ass. And then Shorty would get in action. He's up around somebody's head and neck and like snapping their neck. They're like, what the hell is this guy?
Game of Thrones did it perfectly. Ned Stark. Ned Stark's not a young buck, but Ned Stark, that type of guy or woman that's out there who is they're fucking older.
Yeah.
They're seasoned. They've been to the puppet show. They've seen the strings, and they're still in great shape. The whole age, not everyone. 57 years of age is different for everybody out there.
It's really shape.
There are some old coots that can fuck up some young bucks. It's that old person strength they call it.
And the lesson I learned, because I would see Shorty, the Conley dad, fighting, and I would see his young, full of piss and vinegar son, Don, fighting. Don's fights would actually last a lot longer. One, I think Don liked to savor a good fight. When blood started spilling, he didn't want it to end.
He kind of like edging for masturbating.
He was just right. He's like, no, don't let it end yet. Don't go down. Shorty would come in, and he knew how to punch and where and fast. And he would do a thing where you wouldn't think he's going to fight, and he'd go, whoosh, and next thing you know, somebody's nose is through their brain, and they're down on the ground. The fight's over, and I'm like, holy shit, did he just do that?
There are some people
it's unreal.
They're born.
Guy was 60 years old.
Yeah, they're born with this odd thing where they know how to throw punches accurately, quick, fast.
He knew where to hit you and how, and even though he had no strength, he could just take you down.
Some people they can maneuver.
Big dudes too.
They can see a punch duck down and right in your trachea, and you're holy. Guy could be 5'2". Fuck a guy who's 6'10".
Yeah,
I've seen it happen before to Sweet Nanny.
Absolutely.
I've seen really short guys beat the shit out of really big, brawny looking dudes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. DJ in the chat room said Shorty wouldn't fly today. Yeah, he would. My town hasn't changed.
What do you mean Shorty wouldn't fly?
I think maybe just saying, today's
his
environment
style.
and No,
or calling him Shorty, you mean?
I don't know.
What do they mean by that? It wouldn't fly today.
I have no idea.
Isn't that PC to call someone Shorty?
No, I think they're saying maybe just his style of fighting, right? The way he behaves might not fly today. I don't know if Shorty's offensive.
Oh gosh,
yeah, no.
I
think that was their nickname for him.
I never know.
Yeah, it was a
anymore.
nickname for him. He called himself Shorty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shorty, it's your birthday.
You're right.
And he always talked about himself in third person.
Weird. You got to be careful with people who do that.
You don't want to piss Shorty off, and you're like, wait, you're Shorty. He'd be like, oh yeah, okay, so don't piss you off.
I'm not saying everybody that says their name in the third person is you can't trust them, but you need to make sure you're really doing your research on someone who's always talking about themselves in the third person.
It's a weird thing.
It is.
Shorty would like doing that thing where you would say something, he'd be like going, what the fuck you mean by that? You get in your face like, holy shit. He'd be like, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What the fuck?
That kind of energy.
Can't tell.
And you're
Like,
like, so not
holy
down
shit.
with that.
I saw Shorty coming. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to laugh with me or he's going to kick my ass.
That's a dominance move.
Shorty is that's the kind of personality I hate. I can't stand the most.
It was so tough.
I hate it.
It was so tough.
I can't stand Shorty, Denny.
That's why I just at 17 I had to get in the car and just drive.
Yeah.
I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Hashtag fuck Shorty. Let's get that trending. KVJ.
Yeah. Who knows? Tiffany said maybe they mean a dad jumping into kid fights.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they still do that.
A dad jumping into kid fights. Yeah,
Well, so
they definitely do that.
even where I grew up, it was dads who, if their kids behaved, who I was friends with, kind of the same situation. He put on boxing gloves and he boxed his own kid.
Shorty wouldn't fight often. Shorty would pick up his sons and drive them to the fight. So that was kind of it. And
He liked the community of it.
Yeah, he would just be. He really liked watching his sons kick somebody's ass. That was just.
Some kids are bred to fight, man.
He loved it. He would be so proud. You'd see Shorty over there. Always wore a white T-shirt that was so dirty, rolled up the sleeves, and he'd just be leaning against his car, just looking and be like, "Going, that's my boy."
Well, because a clean shirt. Well, Shorty wouldn't have it that way.
He's not putting on airs for anyone.
No,
No,
come on.
not, yeah.
How's a clean shirt intimidating? No, this motherfucker's kicking my ass. He's got stains. He's got spaghetti stains.
He had a uniform, dirty ass blue jeans and a white dirty T-shirt every day.
It's the same concept of that car that's real shitty on the road.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's got nothing to lose. Shorty had nothing to lose.
Shorty had
Stained
nothing to lose.
shirt,
Yeah.
nothing to lose. It's a tactic.
He was a guy that and I think he bred this into his kids. He was always looking for somebody that could be offending them.
Yes.
That was really his thing because he was just looking for a reason to kick someone's ass. And I think that's what he was doing with his like, fuck you talking about? And you'd be like, oh shit. And he was just looking, he was kind of hoping it would escalate, but at the same time, because I was the most passive guy, I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, I can see you.
Hey, man, I'm just fucking with you, Ralston.
I can see you not responding to that energy well. I would not respond to that energy well. I don't like overly macho anything where someone's so over the top alpha.
Yeah.
It's too much. There's got to be a fucking balance.
I love you, Ralston. He's like, no, I can't fucking stand you, but I love you.
No,
like,
you don't get to play mind games. We're not dating.
It's like Joe Pesci from
do you love me? Do you
Goodfellas.
hate me? I don't know what's going on here, Shorty.
Quit gaslighting me, man.
Somebody said, did Shorty roll up a pack of L&M's on his sleeve?
Yeah.
No, he was always smoking, though, too. Yeah.
L&M's.
L&M's.
And I feel like Shorty, when he found a girl that he loved her hard in a way where, oh my gosh, Mom, Shorty is out in the front yard again.
No, he had his wife. Shorty was a very faithful kind of guy.
I apologize, I read Shorty the wrong way.
But she was so timid and kind.
Can't imagine why.
That's probably how it worked out.
It was the weirdest thing. She was the nicest lady ever. And you're like, how do you live with these?
I've noticed that with dicky dudes, a lot of their wives are almost kind of...
It was a bizarre...
The sweetest...
You would say if you had to rank the sweetest person in our county, it probably was Don Conley's mom.
If you get a cut, you get a Band-Aid and a cookie. They're that kind of sweet.
You're like, how's your son such an asshole?
Yeah. It's because it's the cock.
It's crazy. Yeah, Michael's like, yeah, he called her his old lady. He did. Yeah, Mo lady.
No bone chain.
He freaking loved that woman, though. I mean, it was endearing because he would destroy somebody going, well, gotta get home to the wife, and he's covered in blood, not his, and he would just, in a sweet way, drive off.
How has that term not been canceled yet? My old lady.
Still used, still endearing.
Endearing. It's borrowed time. Time's up, old lady. Something's coming
in
for
the
that
South,
term.
though. I feel like that's such a commonly used term of endearment.
It is, and I've heard people talk about that, women and men, and they're not offended. If you live in that kind of environment, it means you're my love. You're my
right.
You're not actually calling her
and
old.
they get it.
And that's the whole thing about language. Somebody who doesn't, if you live on the coast and you don't, old lady, fuck you. If you don't grow up in the environment of a Midwest where old lady or my man, that kind of stuff is endearing and not offensive, you know what the fuck you're talking about.
There's a language each to its own. And it'll never change. It's stuff that if you go to one of the coasts or you took it to San Francisco, people would lose their marbles. But in a hometown like mine, it'll never change. They'll use those kind of terms and words. And
the coasts are
they've never changed, and they're not looking to change anytime soon.
The coast of the country are the fragile.
Yeah.
You can't say words on the bookends of our country.
Yeah, they're not changing anytime soon. For
No.
the liberal fucks. They don't care for them. Sandy, she said, "Hey, I was just looking for some recommendations of where to go for Christmas Eve." All right, yeah. I mean, getting ahead of it. Yeah, what exactly is going to be going on? What can you go and do? There's a couple things to check out. I was telling Suits about one that even if you're not Jewish, it sounds awesome. I don't know how they would card you. Is there a Jew card that you have, Suits? There's no special identification, right? So okay, he's in there laughing. No, so apparently not. But they do this thing called the matzo ball, and it is kind of a Jewish singles party that they have. They're doing it. And they do it on Christmas Eve. So
Makes sense.
You're Jewish and you're like, all right, what is everybody else doing? It's a great night if you're, hey, go out and party. They're doing it at Honey and Delray Beach, 111 in Boca, and then Live at the Fontainebleau in Miami Beach. They got a matzo ball on Christmas Eve. And I'm like, that sounds like a ton of fun.
That's a genius idea. It's a perfect day.
It is. And so I don't know if, everybody there is Jewish and they'd frown on it if you're a Gentile coming in there, trying to rock it and get your drink on or not, but.
They don't like Goya out there. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? You're right. So that is going on. Some other things. They're showing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the musical. It's playing at the Broward Center on the 22nd, and it's going to be at the Kravis Center on the 23rd. Cirque du Soleil, they got the Cirque Dreams Holidays at the Broward Center the day after Christmas to the 27th. So those are just a few things that are going on, but there's a lot of even like pop-up bars that are doing stuff, a lot of Christmas themes. I know the Wharf in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, they've got some, I think, special Christmas decorations going on. In fact, I think if you go tonight to the Wharf in Lauderdale with an ugly Christmas sweater, you get a free drink.
Oh,
that's awesome.
head down to the Genital Wharfs.
That's funny.
Thanks, dude.
I put up the list of things to do this weekend too on the social medias.
Look at this guy, fucking always working.
Yeah, and I'll try to post one next week. So if there's some stuff that pops up the week before, you can go and check that out. There's also the Harry Styles performance along with Khalid that's going to be at Lummis Park on December 30th.
What am I on, Kevin? Mm-hmm. Isn't that Harry Styles?
That is.
It is.
That's good.
I got an
that's
artist
good.
right. I hope management's listening.
That's good. Yeah, so that's going to be happening. The Capital One Beach Bash. If you have Capital One card, you'll get some special ends and all that kind of stuff. Got an email here from Abelardo wanting to know, my wife and I are interested in watching Star Wars, but we are completely clueless on where to start or even in what order. We have Disney Plus, so we do have access to all the Star Wars movies and series. So what do you recommend for the newbies?
I really would start it from how they were made, but go into it knowing you're going to do it like how we all did it in real time.
Okay.
Watch the first 3, but know there's going to be a prequel that's going to happen before that. I don't think you should start with episode 1.
Really?
I do. I think you should start with how they were made, and you should get the real overall story essence behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, so you kind of get it.
Yeah, I would do it the way it was released. I think that's how he intended it too.
Yeah.
It was cool when you saw that it was episode 4. And then there would eventually be 1, 2, and 3 to bridge that.
But go into it knowing the first 3, there's a backstory you have to be prepared for.
That's my only knock against Phantom Menace. Starting on Phantom Menace might be arguably the boringest one to start
It
with.
is. It's a boring. It's about the Senate. It's fucking
It's
boring.
about the government changing and there being an invisible TIE fighter. I mean, come on.
It's weird, too, because a lot of the dialogue is directed to kids. Whoa, what's going on? Wacky, wacky. But the content is for adults. So who is that movie made for?
Yeah, it's always been my knock. It's got boring Senate stuff, and then it's got kid slapstick stuff, and then a 20-minute race.
And if you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to like it or be a part of it, I should say, because you're a Star Wars fan.
I saw it in theaters. I didn't necessarily love it, but I did enjoy it because I was very hyped for a new Star Wars movie. So I did watch it in theaters and like it. I didn't think that one held up as well.
Also, all hail Greedo.
Okay. Greedo.
I would watch the original 4, 5, and 6
I
first.
would. Chat room, let us know. And then also let us know how pissed off you are that we're talking about Star Wars.
Plus,
so
the
long.
series will look better as you watch through it in that order, too. If you watch it in the order, it's going to jump all over the place.
Here we go, the fucking chat room.
What do they say?
Grant, snooze. Angie from Hollywood, snooze emoji. We get it. You don't like Star Wars. With that said, may the Force be with you.
Yeah, and there's still people that are just tuning into Star Wars. So for them, it's going to be brand new eyes. They might love the heck out of it.
What do you think about this? Because I would make a real quick argument, starting with Rogue One, watching the original trilogy, and then stopping.
I mean, that's not bad throwing the Rogue One in there.
I'm a person that I like to finish the baseball game. I say you go through it all, even if it's miserable. You need that last exclamation point to go, yep, it sucked, or I loved it, or it did suck, I loved it, it kind of sucked. With anything.
I think
if you're going to watch The Office, I think you should watch the entire Office.
Okay. And if you are somebody who is monitoring your time and you don't, I think the best experience would be starting with Rogue One, going through A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then watching The Mandalorian and calling it good.
I would agree with that.
That is some bullshit. You too, Denny's? What the fuck?
I just personally wasn't a fan of the prequels.
Well, let me just go ahead and say that it depends on what you're trying to do. There's a lot of shit that you have to sift through. The prequels are pretty much shitty.
Yeah.
The back end is real shitty.
Yeah,
and
it
then
is.
the middle's real nice.
I don't like spending time watching things. I'm like, oh, this sucks. Yeah, so
I hear you.
I'm an abbreviated kind of guy.
Weird enough, I am a person that likes that.
I know, yeah.
You'll
It's
sit
all-
through it all.
spend a lot
I
of time
need-
just watching stuff that sucks.
I do.
Yeah.
I need the whole journey. If not, I can't
Yeah.
really give my whole
Gotcha.
opinion.
Okay.
It's weird.
Everybody's got their own thing.
Nah,
so
I see.
if you talk to Star Wars fans, you'll probably get a ton of different answers.
You absolutely will.
And here comes the snooze emoji. Fuck the chat room right now. What the hell coming at us for stuff?
So if you're watching Star Trek, I say you start with the original movie.
Now, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons, Denny's. It's pretty funny.
There's a lot of nerdy topics people have no tolerance
It's
for.
pretty funny how the chat room has no fucking
No,
tolerance.
they're done. They're over it.
Sports and Star Wars, you can only give about 30 seconds
You're
and they will
right.
fucking turn on
They're
you.
equally as polarizing.
It's pretty hilarious.
BuzzFeed has got a interesting quiz out today. If you've seen 23 out of 50 biggest movies of 2021, you're most definitely a cinephile. You love cinema. Yeah. And I went through the top 50 movies of 2021, and I realized I saw half a movie, and that was the Wonder Woman 1984.
That movie was.
Oh, damn.
And I'm not trying to be hack and trying to, be a part of the sheep. That movie was such horseshit, Denny's.
I heard not one. Nothing. No offense to the.
in both
I heard
lang-
not one good comment though.
both languages that I saw it in. I saw it in Spanish first, and
Yes.
then I saw it in English. And both languages equally as shitty.
Was this a year of the mediocre movie? Because I'm going through and I'm looking, and I'm going to have time in the next 2 weeks. And I'm looking at some of the ones that would interest me, but I got to tell you, I've heard some things that were like not favorable. The new James Bond movie, No Time to Die. People are saying that wasn't very good. I'm like, okay, should I take my time in the next 2 weeks to watch that movie? I haven't seen Black Widow yet. That jumps out at me. Eternals. Is it worth watching that movie? Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I heard a lot of good word of mouth about Ghostbusters.
Did you?
I could
Okay.
give a fuck about what the critics say, but people, my friends, just
They enjoyed it.
regular people that like to go watch a movie
Okay.
to escape for 2 hours. A lot of people liked it. It seemed like, and it seemed like they kind of touched on that old
Are they going back to the?
nostalgic funny bone kind of a thing.
Cruella, Encanto. These are all movies that I would, consider watching. We started with the Suicide Squad, and I don't know what happened. I got distracted and get through that one.
Because your co-host is. Oh, I never mind. I thought you meant the list.
House of Gucci has come up, and I've heard that that's not very good from
But
people.
The porn one is great.
Snake
The-
Eyes, G.I. Joe
House of
Origins.
Yeah, how's a coochie, dude?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gucci.
I said that joke with Virginia a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, are there any movies from 2021 that I actually need to take the time to watch, or is 2021 just going to be written off as the year of, it was all mediocre movies. You didn't miss anything.
I don't think I saw a single movie this year.
Well, that's what's crazy.
I stopped watching movies like a few years ago.
I think, and I'm a person who loves movies, but the last year and a half, I noticed all of my habits are watching TV show series where there's something I can keep coming back to that I'm into, or YouTube unique content that you cannot get anywhere else. Or whatever platform would give that.
Well, there's so
Yeah.
many good shows that, are to watch. And if you got a mediocre movie, I got no love on, why watch a movie if you've got great series that are going on that you can spend one episode after another and it's all good.
We're kind of trained to like these series that have all this drama. So if you have an hour and a half or 2 hours to tell a story, holy shit, you better be balls to the wall to tell that fucking story now.
right.
Because we're trained to get all this,
Move it fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, last weekend I watched the first two movies in the new Spider-Man Trilogy, and the third one's out in theaters just so that my son and I can go see that. And somebody said, Kevin, the new Spider-Man movie is going to be big. And I think I've heard good things about that one.
Everyone's really hyped.
Some people are saying it's the best one of the three, and I enjoyed the first two. I thought they were both good. So excited about that. Got another beer recommendation here from Astra. It's the Brooklyn Lager. Yes, in fact, I even have a shirt that one of our KVJ Nationers got me from Brooklyn. It is a very good brown ale. Thank you very much for that. So, in fact, she was talking about how she had to get some dental work done, and she put in the podcast, and her dentist is like, you didn't even flinch during that whole thing. What the heck are you listening to? Because she was so engrossed in our podcast, now her dentist is listening to the KVJ show.
I love that.
Because of that.
I love that shit.
Mm-hmm. So, and she is not from here. She's from Texas. She said, and Shiner's pretty popular here, but I don't like Shiner much. And she found the Brooklyn Lager.
Well, ye fucking ha. Welcome to
It's
the
good.
family.
Yeah, we got it here in South Florida, too, and it is a good beer.
Welcome to our fucked up, dysfunctional family.
Another thing from Jeff in Texas. Love all of our Texas listeners.
We have a lot of Texas listeners. It
Yeah, we
seems
do.
Like.
Well, it's a big state. A lot of people there.
Still, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
Texas is a great state.
California's pretty big. Do we have a lot of
It's
California
true.
listeners?
Got a few.
Few.
Mm-hmm. Got a few there. In Frisco, there. Look at this. There is a Virginia Parkway, and look at that. Right above it is Louisiana Street. If that's not an intersection for Vicious V.
And there's a racetrack just like we have here on 45th Street, and it's got the same number of the gas that we have here too. Coincidence?
Do they also have weird fucked up people hanging out there?
Probably, yeah. Ones that try to jump in front of your car when you're driving by.
Every racetrack, I don't know what it is. There's 2 I go to all the time. That's where we get our gas mostly.
Because they put a VIP section where anybody...
They did?
You can... Whatever you want to do. You want to do cocaine, you want to jerk off, they have a section at a racetrack where you can just...
It's real nice.
Be real fucking weird if you want to be weird. It's odd, because I remember I got catcalled by... And when I say catcall, it wasn't like they were trying to fuck me.
Yeah,
They were just saying weird shit to me. Like, what the fuck you doing, motherfucker? Oh, my God. Yeah. It wasn't about a carnal thing, Denny's.
They're like, hey, shake that thing.
They were just really saying a lot of shit to me.
I've been insulted by... So in Colorado, they have a pretty bad homeless population. They have a large amount of it. Okay. Especially if you go in Denver. And the average age range has to be 18 to 27. They're all young.
Yeah.
But they ask you for money, and if you say no, right when you're passing, they all start insulting you. It's the hardest thing. You get insulted about 14 times walking 3 blocks.
Well, that's why I stopped going to some of the... Let me make sure I say this right. Carnivals and type of fairs out there.
Yes.
Because I would be walking down the main strip, and the carnival people would go, "Hey, you want to do this game? $3 for 3 balls."
You limp dick.
I'm like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, fuck you and your girlfriend. And go fuck your mother, too. Like, oh, my gosh. No, I don't know if I want to come to the fair on Sunday afternoon, Denny's.
I'm with you. They kind of get paid to heckle the heck out of everyone.
Or I should say carnivals.
The carnivals.
Carnivals are types of fairs.
I wanted to let everybody know about something called the Cajun Navy. This came from Ashley. She said, my dad drove up to Kentucky to help the tornado victims and is volunteering for the Cajun Navy. I had no idea that they existed, but they are truly incredible people who volunteer their time and resources to support and rebuild this community. My dad has told me that the damage is so not comprehensible unless you see it firsthand. These people are left with absolutely nothing. And I'm sure you've seen some of the videos and the photos that they have sent are just, it looks like somebody just took like you ever seen those ground till things, you just grind everything up, and that's really what it is. It looks like a grinder just went over all their houses. And somebody made a good point too. Who the hell built that bookshelf? Because everything else in the entire town is gone, but the bookshelf is still standing, and the books are still on the shelf.
That's some Jesus carpentry right there.
Like
that
what?
Is.
Who? Like that's crazy. Everything else is gone. They've got cars flipped on top of each other, and then somebody built the most perfect bookshelf ever.
In the distance, a bookshelf.
Yeah, so if you'd like to give out any money, if you do that during the holidays, look for the Cajun Navy Ground Force. They are on social media, and you can donate if you like that cause.
There's a really cool YouTube channel that I found, and I'm not sure if everyone's going to be into this, but if you are into the whole missing people kind of a thing, there's this dive team. They go out, and they work on these cold case files, or these cold cases. And, you know, someone will be missing for 3 or 4 years or 10 years, even some cases 40 years. And it's always a cold case where there's at least maybe a rumor where the car or the body could be in water.
Okay.
And it's called Adventures with Purpose. And these guys go out there and they take their sonar shit or whatever kind of equipment they have, and they look for cars in the water. And the reason why they do that, and a lot of people don't know this, a lot of police departments don't have the money to be able to go search and looking for all that with the equipment. So they donate their time and they find these cold cases. And on some of them, they've solved 40-year-old cases where someone didn't know where their dad was at.
Yeah.
Adventures with a Purpose. If you like that kind of shit, it's a really good YouTube channel.
They just recently found a car that had gone into a river in the 70s.
Yeah.
The kid was like driving home from college and just disappeared. They had no idea where he military went. They just found
his
remains in his car. It was like a Pinto. They'll let you know how old it was.
And it's really crazy because a lot of times in the videos they'll interview the family or talk to the family and ask the details of the case, and they don't know what happened to their loved one, and they think they might be in water, and this is a last Hail Mary effort to see if they're there.
Yeah.
And then when they do find them, it's pretty fucking it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, that is cool.
Now I will say some of them are letdowns. You'll watch about 40 minutes and they don't find the body. So maybe research, because it's kind of like I have to sneeze, and the sneeze never comes.
Okay.
It was kind of unsatisfying. 40 minutes and
Never
they don't
got
find
there.
a dead body.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool they don't always
give
find a
something.
body, though.
That's a good perspective.
Well, just because otherwise you're like, all right, guys.
Well, you think it's staged at that point?
Well, if they find one every time, yeah.
Well, if they're cold cases, though, how could you stage that?
Well, I'm saying if they're cold cases, how could you find a body every time, you know? I mean, unless they're that good.
I think that's the thing. Well, my fear is people are going to go on YouTube and thinking they are that good, and they're not.
Yeah.
Got the KVJ listeners in Texas. They're going to do a meetup, apparently, trying to figure out exactly where. I've been dying to get back to Texas. It's been a little while for me. And some people are around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know we've got some in Houston. I really would like to get to Austin. But if you guys ever do that, let me know. Maybe we'll pop in for the weekend.
What do you think about this campaign? Text us from Text Us.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah. I don't know if we can do that.
Texas from Texas.
I wish everyone was that honest about everything. That was just fucking awful. I'm kidding. I don't want that kind of honesty, Danny.
Yeah. If you guys put it together, let me know. To me, I would recommend one of those cities, but maybe I'm missing out on something. Maybe San Antonio is the right way to go. So, yeah, my wife, her and her dad are back on the kick of us going to El Paso in July, because her family's from there, but they want to go into Juarez to look around at all the family homes that the cartel took over. I'm like, do we want to do that? Is that a good idea?
No.
And so they want to go on a tour to see all the homes that the cartel stole from them. I'm like, that seems like a terrible idea.
It doesn't seem good.
I'm not sure if I'm into this, but it's like, you got to see the family homes and all that. I'm like, yeah, but it's like inhabited by cartel now, right? Yeah, but still. I don't know if I'm feeling that. So I would rather go somewhere else in Texas. So, yeah, let me know where you guys decide.
But if you are in Texas, Texas,
Yeah, go
text
ahead.
us.
Okay. All right, well, maybe this next year we can go to bring KVJ to Texas.
Oh, my gosh. I
jeez.
fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love it, mate.
Yeah, it's very flat, Jay, bro. I think you might like it.
I would.
Yeah. All right, I got another email here from Gene. So I listen to you guys every day, probably more on Spotify, especially the podcast. I constantly heard Kevin and Jaybird this year talk about Die Hard, and I chose to give the movie a chance. And I would like to say that, one, it is a good movie, and that it is indeed a Christmas movie.
All right.
I noticed that earlier in the year, Kevin discussed watching a show called Lupin on Netflix and dropped it. I'd like to know, did you ever go back and watch the show again? Or did you just drop it altogether? I did go back and watch it, and it's okay. There's just some really hokey parts in it. And you ever see something, you're like, I'm enjoying 80% of it, but that's so hokey. You just have to somehow see it and let that go.
It's the Randy Pennington philosophy. He'll watch something and go, all right, Jay Bird, that was so terrible. I'm going to edit that out of my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to act like it never
like
happened.
that, yeah.
I'm going to keep going because that's an edit.
Lupin is like that. A lot of people like it. For me, 20% of it's god-awful and cheesy and hokey, and you're just like, oh, come on, man. But yeah, if you watch it, I wasn't disappointed. There's an animated series for Lupin the Third. It started in the 70s and is still going with episodes available to watch, dubbed or subbed on YouTube. I think that Denny's or Jaybird would enjoy this. Jaybird would enjoy this show as well. As for Jaybird and Denny's, I'm glad you guys brought back the Weird and Whatever podcast, as I look forward to listening to it in the afternoon. I think what you guys discuss is interesting, and oddly enough, the first podcast that I listened to had Jason, Beckett, and Denny's, just like last week.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
it was a trio
That
last
was
week.
last week. Yeah, Vicky was sick. I would love to do a podcast with you, Kev, over the break, and I'm going to do a Bitch and the Witch with Virginia. It all looks like we're going to do that. So there's going to be some content for the good people who listen to this program if they want that.
Yeah. In fact, I depending upon how much free time I have, and I don't know. It all depends because when I go into break, I'm on Queen's time. So
sure, I totally get that.
And so, but if I got pockets where we're sitting around not doing something, I might just call you big. Hey, let's knock something out, man.
Well, you still haven't seen my house yet.
I know. I got to get up there. That'll definitely happen during the break. And
Yeah.
I'd like to just hit record and we'll drop something people can check out.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do too. And Sweet Denny's, you're out of here on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Damn, my boy gone.
I know. Lots of traveling.
How annoying is that?
It's so funny because I do enjoy seeing people, but man, traveling is it's rough, especially in the holidays.
It's tiring to sit and do nothing. Isn't that weird?
It is, and you can't really relax because you're not home, you know?
Yeah, I've never been able to relax on a plane. I've been buzzed. I've enjoyed. Relaxed. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Alex.
Good comment, Bird.
Well, on the plane, I'm not too bad. It's just the sitting around all day, you know? Because a lot of it's just eating and hanging, you know? It's pretty much a majority of visiting families.
That's right. Sit.
You just sit and eat.
I know Ralston's not a fan of that because I've noticed that if you do visit your family, a lot of times when you visit, you get there, the first 30 minutes is everyone, it's great to see you, and then there's a present or whatever, right, let's eat. And then there's just sitting and looking at each other.
Yeah.
And after 3 hours of that, you know, some might want to go out and do and explore.
My wife is really not into that for the most part, especially if it's not her house.
I get that.
Yeah, and so we always now, and I like it. I'm very adapted into that because I come from a family of sitters. We have plans and we're going to go out and do stuff.
It's one thing if you have a hub to where you can go chill and be yourself, but if you have to, and I'm not saying the Queen's not herself in front of your family, but you're still not at your house. You're not in
your natural habitat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you have that hub, that's different.
Yeah.
On a vacation, but if you don't have that and you have to stay at someone's house, it's rough, man.
It is, yeah. So it is tough. We like doing stuff. If you're going to be checking out KVJ next couple of weeks, we're going to put out a lot of Christmas material, maybe some stuff that you haven't heard, or maybe you want to hear it again. Keep an eye out for some new material because, hopefully, even though we're all going to be here except for Denny's, so we'll hopefully be able to crank some stuff out.
Got some new theme songs coming up, too.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be recharged coming back into the new year. But thanks to everybody who's listening. Spotify is now past every other platform for listening to podcasts. And KVJ is on Spotify. Want to let you know. And you can now start leaving reviews. And that does, I guess, help. We're trying to grow the podcast and digital space. If you ever have anybody, get more people signed up for that because one day we all have this goal that we're going to just do podcasts. And
we do have that goal.
We do. And then we can do the show anywhere and we can come see you in all these different cities and all that kind of crap. And that would be a lot of fun to be able to do that. And Alex, he listened for 36,775 minutes in 2021. You can send that out to Spotify, so thank you for doing that.
We probably would do more travel events if we did just a podcast.
Big time.
I think we'd be able to concentrate on more stuff that's not so red tapey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be fun to do kind of what we had talked about. I know that one time I hung out with KVJ Nationers in Chicago when I went there, and we got together in a bar, but it'd be nice to be able to go to different cities, and that's why we have the KVJ map, where if you listen somewhere else, then we put you on a map and we can kind of get an idea of that. And then if we could make that a little bit more official, then we could say, okay, we've got this many people in Chicago. We could go and do a live show there. We could do a live show here and all that kind of stuff. So that'd be a lot of fun stuff to do for the future. So let us know. I did get kind of an update from Virginia. She sent an email. She said, I just left MD Now and my results won't be back for 3 days. So I am headed to this Arroyo place. I'm just going to get the antibodies and a rapid COVID test and whatever else they want to give me. I tested negative for the flu, so I probably have COVID. Yay, what a fun vacation.
But she doesn't know that, though.
No.
She
always goes worst case scenario first.
What the
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's where Virginia's mentally.
Oh, fuck.
In a world of hurt and all that stuff.
Pain.
Yeah, pain and... It's Christmas time, but everything's just fucked.
I love it.
There you go. Well, Well, thank you guys for being here all throughout 2021. We love y'all. We appreciate you. Hopefully you'll be joining us again in 2022 for another epic year of the KVJ show. Have a great holiday.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.